Greetings everyone and welcome to another Modern Horizons 3 draft with an, a somewhat unremarkable first pack. There are not truly powerful uncommons or rares. There are good commons though. Galvanic Discharge, Horrific Assault, Accursed Marauder are fine cards. Of course the Snacker is really good if you happen to land on blue-black. It's a bit risky first pick. Lethal Throwdown is okay, Brain Search is okay, Revitalizing, Repast, and the Leadership are nice uncommons. I think I prefer the Repast over these options, but I'll just take the Discharge. It's such a nice efficient removal spell, and if you happen to get to draft an Energy deck, this will be just better, because this might even deal 6 damage, get rid of some really big threats. So I think it's a safe first pick. It works excellently in any kind of a red deck. Alright. If I was crazy, I would take the Magmob and go for mono red. But I think in that case, the better plan would be to pick red cards after this pack and then assume this will come back at pick number 10, which it most likely will be doing. Here, since the only red card is a one I'm not gonna take at pick 2. I mean, of course, the thing with this is that triple red is a horrible mana cost. You must have like 12 to 14 red sources in the deck to actually cast this reliably. I think I'll take the Warren Soul Trader. It's not like it's amazing, but it's totally fine in any black deck. And there are some cards that are better in other kind of builds, but I'm not gonna force anything. If I was forcing blue-black and took the blue-black common in the previous pack, I could just take maybe this, but this is not even that amazing. Okay, I'll take this. Could be black-red, could be anything. Alright, well, I guess I could take the Pyretic Rebirth here. It's a bit clumsy, of course, for mana. It requires you to have something relevant in the graveyard, so it's not necessarily a turn 4 play that often. It can be, of course, if early creatures trade or get removed. Now, there are some very good 2-drops here. Conduit Goblin, Hexgold Slith. Of course, the Basking Brute Scale is nice too, so these are really high quality 2-drops. And with the Galvanic Discharge, I could take the Goblin or the Slith. I think, I'm not even sure which one I like more in a red and white deck. Maybe this thing, because the haste can be so nice. But since I took the black card, maybe I'll take the uncommon. Let's try to do something with that. Oh, red-white energy is good, so if I would take one of those. Okay, well, too late. I already picked my card. I guess this pack would still have a good card in red-white energy, but that's pretty much it. With the one Discharge and the Rebirth, this is an easy pick for me here. How many Aslaks do I have? I have a playset, so no need to red draft. I wouldn't be red drafting that anyway. This is just too good of a card and works very well with what I have picked already this early in the draft. Okay. Red-white energy would still have like a thriving Skyclaw, which I think I would like more than the Jolted Awake, but this deck is going to take Accursed Marauder. It's totally a reasonable card in any black deck. Alright, well, there would have been a gift for the red-white deck, but for me there's a Grim Servant versus Eviscerator's Insight. This is even better in blue-black, but it's still playable in most black decks. You can even have a nice trick with the Accursed Marauder if this would be your first thing. Or only creature on the battlefield, and you have 4 mana, 2 of which is black. You can cast this and respond to the trigger by sacking it to this. Anyway, I'll take the Servant because it can get me the Galvanic Discharge. Of course, this can always get you a land. Don't forget, even if the opponent kills this in response and your devotion to black is 0, you can still get a land. But this will at least get me the Discharge if it doesn't get killed in response. Alright, I'm taking the Ram. That said, I have no artifacts really, other than the treasures this thing can generate. But the other option is like a Boggart Troller, which is one of the weaker creature land dual-faced cards. Still totally playable, but I'm taking this, and we'll see how many artifacts can I get to befriend it. yeah, 20 gems, red drafting or Gargantua. Let's take the thing that actually goes to my colors. Lethal Throwdown. It is good with the ram. Any living weapon, of course, is great with this. I have nothing yet for this. I mean, it's a card you can play no matter what. But it's better when you can have some kind of synergy for it. We'll see if that gets there. Okay. Yeah, I'm taking the Drossclaw. It's not that great, but it does work very well with the Lethal Throwdown. Of course, if I want to have some kind of an artifact theme in the deck, the Drossclaw isn't the worst thing you can have. But it seems like this deck is more like a... By the way, the Grim Servant can also take the Lethal Throwdown easily, so that's nice. But yeah, it seems like this is not necessarily an artifact deck. I'll take this for now. I might still, switch colors somehow. Alright. But yeah, I don't know if the Cranial Ram is really at its home here, but this is only pack 1. Maybe pack 2 gives me a lot of this black-red artifact stuff. And okay, this is for black and red. Also for white if I have to change. So yeah, we will see what happens in pack 2. Well, there's an Imskeri. That's not a very good card, by the way. There's a Siege Gang Commander. Well, it's not Siege Gang Commander, it's a Spawn Gang Commander. I don't like the Spawn Gang that much in decks that don't have a lot of colorless sources. I might still have, with the Shattered Landscape and its Elk. But what I'm really thinking here is that I could take the Refurbished Familiar here, and this is quite likely to come back at pick number 9, and if I manage to pick enough artifacts, I could still consider playing this in the end. Spawn is a really good one. If I get some more colorless producing lands, but I'm actually gonna go with the artifact theme now that I picked the Ram. Okay, there's a Yoti. Well, I don't have a playset of those, but it's not really high priority to red draft it. The question here is between the Phyrexian Ironworks and Accursed Marauder and actually Glasswing Greys. This is not so good in red-black because black doesn't really give you a lot of energy cards. I guess there's like one rare Thonian Nightmare or what's it called. It's still an artifact and that can generate energy by, when I attack. But I think this is just such a game changer in some games that I'm gonna take the Glasswing Greys. Alright. Good options. Wormcoil Larva is okay. Stomp is really good. Breathe Your Last is also quite nice. I don't know about the artifact stuff. I mean, I should take the Larva in that case, but I have a couple of 5s here already. Even 3 if we count the... Well, 2 of them can be played as lands, but still. Should I take the Stomp? Or should I take the Breathe Your Last, which can kill anything? I think I'll take the Kill Everything card. Kalia. Have a playset of those. Alright. I'm gonna take the Transmogrant. It's not that great, but it works with the Marauder. It'll work somewhat with the Lethal Throwdown. And if I'm gonna be the artifact deck, I'm starting to feel that I'm not gonna be the artifact deck. And I don't even have a lot of red here. Red is not really that open. But I'm taking this thing still. And, well, there's a Pyretic Rebirth and a 2-drop. Definitely could use a 2-drop, but I'm black-red. I'm taking this thing. It's a little clumsy. It's definitely a clumsy one, but if I want this deck to have any power, I should take this over. It's a decent 2-drop, but this deck is really lacking power. This can give me something to man, yeah, these white cards. Should I actually be black and white splashing for red? Which is totally doable here. There is a Kami of Jealous Thirst. Maybe I'm just mostly black. Yeah, the slith is quite late. Oof, I'm taking the Kami of Jealous Thirst. Alright, now there's some options. Sundering Eruption is good, but I'm actually thinking about the Molten Gatekeeper. I'm keeping the dream alive about the artifact deck. That's only 4 artifacts though, that's really low. I think I'm getting the Imsker back, but it's not a good card if you don't have like 12 artifacts. But this is a fine card regardless. I know this is very good, but I'll try to make the Cranial Ram at least work somewhat. There is a land. I'm not gonna splash for white, so the white splashing, white poison doesn't matter. I could take the insight though, but okay, I'm taking the insight. And next pack would be the one where Imsker is, if it's gonna happen. I don't really need any more force. I'm taking the Kami. It's not very good here. Oh, someone took the Imsker. But I have an accursed Marauder here. Well, actually I'm thinking that this is just such a train wreck draft that I'm taking the Mythic Rare. I'm still wanting to complete all. I know the Marauder is definitely a good card to pick, but I am actually not very convinced this deck is gonna perform very, very well, so I'm gonna take the Mythic Rare. Sure. I don't know what's going on here. The fact that Imskir didn't come back to me doesn't matter. I don't think I would have been able to play that card with so few artifacts. I'm taking the Larva with the Void Pouncer still. 2 mana 3/1 would be fine, but I think this 5-drop at least is a relevant threat on the battlefield. Here I can take another Discharge. I don't know what happened in the draft. Maybe I was really supposed to be something totally different. Okay, well I'm gonna probably get back some bad affinity card like the Frogmore Enforcer or the Hellkite. I can take either the Familiar or the Gatekeeper here. Kind of feel like the 3-drop is better, although this can be a cheaper one in this deck too. Okay, let's take the Familiar actually, because I might play both of these Transmogrants here. Am I gonna play a third Transmogrant? I think that's a little bit too much. I'm gonna take the Vampire in here. And now I could take another Cranial Ram. You know, my artifact count is starting to go up. I'm not sure if everything will be played, but deciding between the Marauder and the Ram, I'm gonna go for the Ram now. Maybe I get some late artifact gifts. I totally expect to get one of the Affinity cards back, if not both. I mean, I can pick only one. But there's the Dragon and then there's the Mirror Enforcer. One of them is gonna come back to me. I mean, they are not that great, but I would play them in this deck, I think. Okay, another Grim Servant. Oh, there's an Ethereum Pteramander. Yeah, I'm taking it. I guess I got some of the artifact payoffs in the end. Okay. By the way, this has the proper mana cost now. I had a recorded video where this was bugged and only cost blue, red and white at 3 mana. It's still good at 4 mana, but it was funny that I was able to... I didn't even realize that then. I thought it was the real cost. Yet another one of these. I think this 2 is gonna be enough. I have 10 artifacts. I'll take a land to fix my mana. Gravedigg isn't really good at all. And here there's nothing for me, sadly. I'm not going to splash for that, although I might be able to do that. Okay, let's pick this just in case. Although if I'm gonna splash, maybe it should be this thing. Okay, fine, I'll pick it. I don't think I'm gonna splash it. Hey, this pack doesn't have anything for me. Alright. I have enough playables, but This is, I think, too bad. But am I gonna get back an affinity card? Or was it this pack or something else? I don't actually remember anymore. I'm really surprised if both of them got taken. Uh, maybe yes, maybe there are 2 affinity drafters in the table. What the? Okay, I got 2 of these Knot Masters. I think I'm gonna splash for white. Okay, I'm really surprised that the kind of bad affinity cards didn't come my way. Well. I guess I can cut some of that then. Well, with double on the Knotmaster and these 2 both fetching also planes, and this can tap for white too if I play it as a land. I'm gonna play these things, but I'm not going to put these in the deck. So let's put these ones in the deck, and then I don't think I'm gonna play double Grim Servant. Do I need a Fetid Gargantua in this deck? This can also give me treasures that allow me to cast the white stuff. So this is 2, double-faced land spell cards, which means I probably will add 16 lands to the deck. So that's like a 24 spells, but 18 lands as well. Which means I'm gonna cut 5 more cards. I'm gonna have easy cuts here, I guess. Quest for the Necropolis is 1. Not a big fan of the Drossclaw. I'm gonna cut one of the Kami of Jealous Thirsts. I don't know if I can actually play the Gargantua here. So the Transmogrant helps with the Terramander. That is still 10 artifacts, and Double Ram cares about them, Terramander cares about them, the Familiars care about them. So I don't want to go too low on them. The Transmogrants also are fine with the Marauder. I know I could have 2 of these, but I took the Mythic Rare over 1. But I guess I have still so many cuts that it's not big deal. I'm gonna just cut this Kami to the Eviscerator's Insight is like the only card that would allow me to use the Kami's ability for free. And then I can just cut one of the Transmogrants. That leaves me at 9 artifacts, which maybe is enough for the Cranial Ram. Yeah. That probably is it, but this deck seems bad. I guess the Drossclaw. Well, this is an equipment that gives +1/+1. Maybe it matters sometimes. This sacrifices another creature. Yeah, this is actually good with the living weapon stuff too. I might as well sacrifice these germs. Right, so Transmogrant. I guess I don't want to cut any more of this expensive stuff. I want to have the 1 Grim Servant. It actually has nice options to pick. I just have to remember Terramander, Throwdown, Transmogrant, Galvanic Discharge. Okay, I'm gonna cut one of the Transmogrants, and that's the deck. This is still 8 red cards in here. Alright, so I'm gonna have lands which are gonna be a couple of these landscapes and 1 plains. I think 1 plains for these 2 Knotmasters is going to be enough. It's not exactly a deck that greatly benefits from this card, but this is a fairly decent card by itself. The adventure helps, make the creature path good. And of course I can have modified creatures with the equipment I have, for instance, so these can grow in size without too much trouble. So yeah, but I think with these 3 lands with the Glasswing Greys and this in a pinch creating mid treasures, that's enough ways to cast these not masters. Of course, both the adventure and the creature require white mana, so the treasures aren't that great for it. But this is still fine. And now I have black producing lands, 3 of them, and same applies for red. Well, I have a lot more black cards, so I don't have to have a balanced status here for the basics. So this is now like a 8 and 8. I think I will have, well, of course, at least 7 swamps, but should I even bump it up? I do want to have the Cranial Rams on turn 2 in the games when I happen to draw them, and of course I want to be able to cast a double caster Pinnacle Monk. I have instant sorceries, 7 total, that's enough to make it quite good. So I'm gonna add 1 more mountain. I have 1 double caster black, well actually 2 this kind of, but I also the 1 planes can help here. I think this is okay, not great by any means, but the draft was a little funny. I guess the white was more open than I gave it credit for, but it happened the way it did. This is a deck that's a very weak one actually. I expect to. I'm happy if I get the 2 wins out of 3. Okay. Well, with 18 lands, 1 lander. Well, they mulligan 2. Of course, this has to be a mulligan. They mulligan to 5. Alright, well, I'm keeping these because I have the stuff I need. I guess. Guess I don't need this landscape. So they're at 5. And they kept 5, alright. Well, look at this, a 1 drop. No sign of other artifacts, so this is extremely expensive for now to try to adapt. And remember, if you put well, that's a nice draw too. If you put a counter on it with let's say Undo Not Master, this adaptability won't matter anymore, because if there's even 1 counter, then the adapt won't add more. Now, of course, the Sleeth has to be taken care of. So, and I still want to keep the Pteramander up. I know I could sack this thing. Of course, in that case, I should have attacked first. But also, I wanted in my graveyard to be a 2 mana spell, because this cares about the mana value. And now I can use this to return the Marauder and deal 2. If this was in my graveyard, I would only deal 1. Well, now it's exiled, so that's no biggie actually. I have 1 double red, 1 double black, so I think I'm not going to. Well, I don't know. Actually feel like I'm still gonna get a swamp here, because I might want to both adapt this and use the Not Master on the next turn, and I can do it with double swamp here with the planes in my hand. But of course the opponent mulliganed to 5 and didn't really have anything going on, and they didn't want me to start gaining 2 life or 3 life per turn when they have clearly this aggressive red-white archetype. So how do I sideboard against that? I think the Kami of Jealous Thirsts are actually quite valuable there, and Grim Servant not so much with the 3 life loss. That's always going to happen when you cast that card. And anything else I want to get rid of? A Drossclaw is actually not that great, neither is the Pteramander, but I can't just cut everything and all the artifacts kind of work together. I guess what I could do is I cut the Drossclaw and the Pteramander and put the other Transmogrant in. That is still 8 artifacts for the cranial rams, the refurbished familiars. And I can use this for blocking duty. And later in the game I can keep bringing them back. So I think this is a good sideboarding against the red-white deck. This can't block other things than flyers, so it's not that great. Yeah, that's it. Okay, this is fine. They kept 7. This is not great, but I have this discharge and I can bring it back. Maybe I will draw another swamp 2 at some point. I don't know yet if I want to get the second swamp or the plains with this thing. So let's wait with that. That is something I'm gonna get rid of immediately. Okay, I guess I wanted to wait one more turn with this. It's possible now that I want to use the Breathe Your Last, but I cannot now because I didn't fetch the land. But I really want to see if I can just okay, look at this. Can get the either draw the swamp or another way to get the white. Anyhow, this is now rather easy. I'm gonna get the swamp with this now, and I'm not gonna let them untap. I'm gonna just annoy the heck out of them by removing their stuff and then using the Pinnacle Monk to, you know, get one of my removal spells back. And next turn I can play the Breathe Your Last. Because Scurry of Realms is not so good when you have no other creatures. Yeah, they can haste them up. But I go to 16, it's not really... I mean, this is still dangerous, of course, when they have this card there. Any other, you know, well, that can add me white, but it's also really good, you know, as an aura. You know, they can get more energy, of course, with ETBs, and they can have hasty attackers now. But the good thing is, I have a Breathe Your Last if they play some kind of creature now. I can get rid of it. Okay, I can just take 2 now. Next turn I can play the Larva. They might of course have a pacifism effect, which would be annoying, but I have a couple of ways to sacrifice. Okay. That's also very nice, but I'm just gonna go for this, and if they have a pacifism, I guess they're gonna use it on the Larva, and then that means something else maybe can pick up the Grace without getting pacified. An exile-based removal spell works too, the burn spell, that's a sorcery. But of course, damage-based spells that don't exile are really bad against the Larva. Okay, no pacifism, they would have done that end of my turn. Okay, well there is a reason to have a white producing land, but I think I can wait for a bit. Now I'm gonna just try to get 3 life with this thing. Wing it. I mean, don't think I should mind. I still get the... This still dies, of course, and I get the trigger out of this. That's totally fine for me. And now I can use the Pinnacle Monk to get just back a cheap removal spell. I have 3 energy here already. 3 energy here, so I can get rid of, you know, up to 6 toughness creatures. I'm not going to play this yet because it's so tempting to use this as a creature aura. And in the meanwhile, I can play the Kami of Jealous Thirst, and you know, you can just use 5 mana for the activation. Therapin Charm, sure. I would prefer them to use their cards so that they are almost top decking, and then it's more safe to use the Glasswing Grace here. So I can just consider trading my Lifelinker here with the 1/1. I'm not too big of a fan. Actually, these are artifacts, so they make the Cranial Ram so much better. I'm not going to actually go for that. I'm gonna leave it as a, you know, as a creature on the battlefield rather than trade with the 1/1. I have a good turn here. I have a double spell. I know I could equip this and attack, but I'd rather just play the Kami of Jealous Thirst. I mean, this game is, unless they have like Rat effect, which they of course can have. Maybe I can even afford to play around it. I mean, looking at the situation here, I can just attack with this. I don't know why I played this and then attacked, but hey, I still should attack with this. I mean, if they have a Rat, I don't want everything I have here to die. So maybe I need to be a little bit careful here now. Because I'm so much ahead here right now that I can afford. Okay, Flage. Well, that's a problem. I can't kill it, so they will be able to escape it. And then I will be killing it, and then they will have trouble escaping it again. But now, of course, this does mean I'm under a clock. So, okay, well, I'm happy about this, actually. I'll just trade here so that the Germ can easily trade here, and I can equip the Lifelinker or something. But they're gonna get another Lightning Helix out of this by escape. Well, they still need one other card in the graveyard, but once they get it... Okay, they actually had the Rat. Wow. They're gonna get rid of the Ram here too. So they had the Rat, which I was talking about, and now they have also this thing. Well, I actually don't plan on playing this as a land. I'm gonna get one of my... I'm gonna get the planes somehow. Just playing this on the battlefield as a 2/2 Lifelinker isn't even that great. So I'm taking some hits here. I actually have the Galvanic Discharge too. It's quite interesting. They know about it. Okay. Well, I guess I'm just killing everything they have there. This is really annoying because this doesn't exile. And they are eventually gonna get that thing back again, but I mean, wow, what cards. Okay, the Cranial Ram would be much better if I had my other artifacts. I guess I'm gonna just lifelink this thing up. Hope they start hitting lands too. I mean, I have already 6 lands myself too, so it's pretty even in that sense. Okay, well, there is that. So the problem, of course, is that if they have a kill spell in response to the Knot Master, I won't even get the creature part here. But I think I just have to try to do something. It's not... I think I have to do this as a desperation move. Now they kill it in response and I can't even... Okay, they did not kill it in response. Now that's... I'm very tempted now to actually put the Glasswing Grace here. Let's do it. Let's do it. And because if they had removal, they should have already used it to prevent this from being castable later on. So let's now see. A Germ token. Is that gonna... Decree of Justice, wow. I mean... It's not that great now that I have a Baneslayer Angel here giving me life. They have I guess this is a good card with the Scurry of Gremlins. Hopefully they don't have another one of those. Conduit Goblin gives them 2 energy, not 3. I guess as long as they can't kill this thing, I'm gonna gain so much life that the damage on the ground isn't going to matter. So they are still going to need a lot more cards in the graveyard before this can escape again. And the Knotmaster can be played. And that will pick up some counters if this gem dies. This has lifelink as well. I know I could have moved the Cranial Ram. Oh, they had a Fanged Flames, which was enough to kill that, but not enough to kill the 5/5. Alright, and they are still, they need 2 other cards in the graveyard. The good news even is that, okay, well that's a good one. Good news is that even if they get to, you know, escape it, it's only dealing 3 damage, which means this will survive. And now if they pacify it, I can lethal. No, they didn't pacify, they had another exile. No, this is actually the same that I saw in game 1. What a disappointing thing. That's not so disappointing. So I'm gonna get my Wormcoil Larva. Oh, I could get my Pinnacle Monk because it actually combines with the... Okay, well the thing is... I mean, Pinnacle Monk and the Pyretic Rebirth infinitely combine with each other. That's the thing. But they have now 4 other cards in the graveyard, so if I kill the Goblin, they actually can get the Flage back. So I think I'm gonna kill a token here instead. I have only 8 mana though, which means I cannot recast the Monk immediately. But I think that's still the best bet. It is an interesting situation though. I am going to try to keep this happening. That's 5 damage on a token. And then on the next turn I can recast this, get the Rebirth back, and then even equip the Ram on this thing and maybe use the Lethal Throwdown if I need to. Okay, just a land there. I have perfect information thanks to the opponent playing their landsman. Maybe they should keep them in hand to have me guessing about what they might have. That's definitely a good one to have too. Yeah, I don't need the... Yeah, this is a nice combination. So this, yeah, I can do this, and then I guess I can have the Ram on the, you know, here. Just like that. Okay, they just drew land now again. They don't know about the Lethal Throwdown. They might block with the Conduit Goblin right now. But it's all fine. I'm going to attack here. Maybe I will see this for the final time. I will get rid of it with the Lethal Throwdown. And of course I'm gonna get my Transmogrant back. And when they kill the monk, I can of course return it with the rebirth. And now they cannot even haste it up, because it's pretty important that this haste giver isn't around. This enters tapped regardless. I might not play the land here. Could make this slightly larger. The thing is, I actually want this to be killed, because then I can get it back with the rebirth. Alright, I'm actually not gonna equip here. Not going to equip here, I'm gonna just allow them to kill it. Then my plan is to use the Transmogrant and the rebirth at the end of their turn. They actually... have yet another of these Expel the Unworthies. Okay. Now, I can actually return target artifact or creature from graveyard hand. I can deal damage to this, but yeah, of course it will be in my graveyard, and then I no longer can get it back. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. That will happen. So they drew the thing they absolutely needed. With my lethal throwdown, I'm still in a fine shape. I don't have a 6 mana thing to return, so that means I'm going to return something for good, and that's the last time I will return anything. I think I have one other rebirth in the deck though. I guess it's the Wormcoil Lava. Another option is the Kami of Jealous Thirst. It's actually pretty decent at this point in the game when you have 10 mana. You can use it once on your own turn, once on the opponent's turn. But this thing is just pretty good. Yeah, okay. I suppose I'm gonna take the larva. This thing enters tapped, so I might as well not keep it as a target to them. Let's make them escape the Flage. Then I will return this, and it will have the counter, so it will actually even make me draw a card with the throwdown. I will take a Lightning Helix to face. I have survived quite a bit in this game, by the way. Rat, multiple Flages, but I'm still winning here. This is already modified, so let's just kill this, sack this. It will come back, no worries. And more ways to kill it. I can cast this, play the land, and then return the Transmogrant once again. Yeah, now it's gonna be again difficult for them to get the Flage back. And again I have a lifelinker here, and I can of course boost its power even more. Both of us have gained some life in this match, in this game. They have 20 minutes, I have 18 minutes, so time shouldn't be an issue here. Even if it goes to game 3, that is. I expect to be winning, but who knows, maybe they have some other nonsense, like yet another way to exile. If they exile this, it won't get spawn the tokens, but there's 2 Expel the Unworthies already here. Yeah, so this is not actually maybe that aggressive. They kill my only white sauce. There's nothing I can do about it. I have one more white card in the deck. Let's first... It will be tapped. Okay, so I'm gonna do this first. So otherwise I can't do it at all. I'm gonna thin my deck, of course. So yeah, there is the one Underdog Master, which I can still cast it with the Soul Trader, actually. Yeah. Well, there is the Rebirth. I think that might take the Kami of Jealous Thirst. It could take the Cranial Ram too, but I can also... Well, I don't have a win on this turn. So maybe... They're gonna jump now, but I might... Well, here I'm actually thinking about craziness, like playing around another Rat. Although the Transmograntantes are quite good when they're about to get destroyed. Well, I didn't use the Rebirth there, so I'm not gonna use it now. I mean, there's no target. It's up to 1, you don't have to target your own stuff, but this should be now. Okay, I know they have no stuff in their hand, so I have now victory, because I can return an artifact and kill this. Assuming... Well, I have the Marauder, I don't even have to kill it. As long as I return an artifact, which means this is gonna be 7 power. Yep, that is how it's gonna go. This is the only artifact, but this is now giving me... this doesn't matter, but this is only 2 damage, but it doesn't matter because I have the Marauder here. Okay, they can tap something, but that's not gonna matter. It's their turn still. It's not even gonna die. Did they not understand that? They should have done that on my turn, actually. I mean, assuming if it would have survived here. And it will survive now. Yeah. So I didn't have a lethal if they did it, the stuff with this, the smart way. Okay, right, well, they're not even interested in. Well, because, yeah. Because of course now that this thing is tapped, I don't even need to kill it, I can just play the Ram equipment. Well, I don't need to equip, it would be 7+3 and in that case regardless. Alright, an odd game 2. Game 1 of course was fast when they mulliganed to 5 and didn't have anything, but game 2 was full of twists and turns with me, you know, well, first of all, everything that after the Rat when I wasn't in such a great shape. And then I had the Glasswing Grace creature for a couple of turns. I almost won with it, and then they were able to exile it. And then I started to do the Pyretic Rebirth with the Pinnacle Monk a couple of times and all the other stuff. Pretty cool. Alright, on the play. Okay. So I need 1 land to use the Gatekeeper. The good thing about the Gatekeeper with the inside is that if this gets killed, I can unearth and draw the cards with this. I have the Galvanic Discharge. I'm keeping it because I can draw one of my 2-drops, which I still have in the deck, or just a land. I have a few, you know, draw steps here because I can buy some time with the discharge. And there's the land. Okay, I'm not gonna discharge that. Okay, even the swamp for the Breathe Your Last. Another red-white deck. Oh, no Eldrazi's. I don't know how I could actually do against Eldrazi's. I don't think I'm a very big favorite with this deck. So I don't actually mind this matchup. I don't care if they pacify, that would be fine, but if they have one of those exile effects, that would be annoying. Okay, they did not. Well, I am having more damage output than they, and I can now of course pass the turn with a bunch of options. I have nothing to add to the board yet, but this and this all should make... No. Not Aether Revolt. That is not okay. I don't have a clock here. I don't have a clock to beat the Aether Revolt. And that card. This color combination doesn't remove enchantments. Not in this set, I don't think. Black can sometimes remove enchantments, but I don't think there's anything in Modern Horizons 3. Well, I can sack this. I mean, I can hope that they don't have like a ton of... Okay, they had no energy production yet. And I keep drawing the somewhat useless mountains here. Discharge on there. Well, sure. No energy for you. It is any target. They can target players even. Now, these draws weren't the greatest. There's no target for my removal here. Well, on the next turn what I can do, I can Molten Gatekeeper and Eviscerator's Insight. I have the 6 mana it requires. Exile any number of target players' graveyards. Alright. So much of that plan. I mean, it wouldn't have been that amazing anyway, because I just need to add to the board somehow. Are you gonna play any creatures? Maybe they are not gonna play their creatures that ETB with energy because they want to you know, use this ability to destroy creatures, not deal damage to face. But hey, I can't cast anything here. It's not my fault. Alright. This is a weird game. But of course, this thing is gonna beat me. I play a creature, they are gonna kill it. I guess if I can just somehow overwhelm them, but me losing the extra 2 cards there makes it not that easy. I can actually adapt to this thing, so of course I'm gonna try to do it. Yeah, I don't need any other artifacts when I have the 7 mana to adapt it anyhow. So they will need to deal more damage to it. I guess they have some regular removal too. This thing is gonna deal half my life total damage. Alright, so there is that. So that's gonna deal damage now to the Terramander, but I'm gonna of course respond by adapting it, and let's see what happens. I'm assuming they have some other card to deal with it. Or just, you know, play some other creature to finish it off. It will still take damage here. And I'm blind. They actually targeted me. Whatever. This can block flyers. This cannot block ground guys, but it can actually block their little germ token. Suppressing... Alright. Well, that's not so bad. I mean, they're almost top decking. Am I gonna beat an Aether Revolt because... Well, that's funny. Because they don't have many energy producing cards. Now, there's a risk they can kill this Accursed Marauder in response. Then I will actually have to sacrifice this, but it's not like I'm really having options. I guess I can use the discharge on the Slith. And then wait with this for something that's bigger. I can also wait until I get like a Transmogrant or something. Alright, so let's do this before they draw further cards. Alright, because I have, you know, plenty of removal here. And that was a really odd suppression ray. Hold it awake, so they are now going to finish off my... No, that's 2 damage plus 2. Okay, it's actually only 4. Now I'm taking some damage myself though, so that's not great. I'm gonna go to 7 and then I'm gonna go to 6. I guess I need one of my white producers. These things have a lifelink. Okay, they are top decking. Officially top decking now. Wonder if I'm not gonna do anything at the end of that turn. This only is 1 mana spell, so I'm gonna see what I draw before. Oh, they're going to jump block. That's fantastic. There it is. I am going to... I mean, this is pretty much my only thing I can do here. I know I could have used it as a land to cast this, but this is much better. 7 life here. Now, am I gonna kill the... No. I think the safest thing to do right now is just to play the Marauder. They have nothing to respond with. And now they can't really easily kill this with Aether Revolt, but they can of course just pacify it or something. Okay. Cranial Ram actually makes it a faster clock. I don't have to care about the germ. This is exactly... Well, this is actually gonna be +2 power, so yeah. It's gonna make it faster. If they have nothing. Did they top deck immediately something? They can destroy the enchantment there. There's nothing I can do about that. So it is not a faster clock now. Unless I draw an... well... 2 artifacts on the next turn. I don't know if that's possible. So they drew something that's relevant, but... Okay. That's a good one, but sadly for them, I don't have a shortage of removal here. In response. Okay, they have 1 draw step time. And even in that case, of course, I have multiple draw steps myself. Yep, Zealot isn't going to matter because, yeah, they can try to have it as a blocker, but I'll just kill it. I mean, now I'm gonna win, despite them having this on turn 4. I never drew the... Well, I drew the 1 white producing thing, the aura, but not the lands that can. The 2 landscapes, 1 plains, unless I had a landscape in the graveyard that I had to use for something else. I didn't have. Okay, what a game. Now they have the enchantment that still will be a problem. However, I have nothing to deal with it. Wonder if I'm supposed to play like a Fetid Gargantua. They are still somewhat aggressive deck. I guess I hope that they don't find the Aether Revolt or find it too late so that they have played their energy producers, or most of them. I was thinking about this mostly because this 4 toughness should survive. Their Aether Revolts with most of the ETBs. But should I cut the Grim Servant? Losing 3. It will get something good though. Definitely will. So I don't know. I will be on the draw. You can adapt this and still choose to not lose 2 life and not draw the 2 cards. You can make this a 6-6 if you want to. So I'm thinking about replacing the servant with this thing. Let's try it actually. Okay. Well, that is a keep, but I don't yet know if I want to have a red or white producing land. Well, now it starts to be a little bit easier. I have only the one double red card. It's the Pinnacle Monk 5-drop. So I think I'm supposed to just get the... Oh, that was a slight mistake. Mostly because I have the black-red 2-drops, you know, these. Not those. These things. But I have a 2-drop in my hand. Regardless, I think I was supposed to play just a swamp here. But I can now play the Vampire or the Marauder. If they have like the Slith thing, I will just Marauder, and they do. And then I still have decent continuation, even a 3-drop here. Yeah, the Marauder is much better than I thought when the set was new. This is a very relevant ability in basically every matchup. The non-token does so much. Of course, if it was token allowed, it would be very bad with all the Eldrazi spawns and these few gem tokens that we have here. Okay, so this is 2 power unless they equip. They can't attack into this thing. I don't have another removal spell yet for the Slith. It was a shame that they had 2 of them. I mean, mostly if they can deal with the Soul Trader and start growing this guy. If they can't, that's just fine for me, but it's not that likely scenario. I have of course a lot of removal in the deck, so I have some time here. Alright, I actually can double spell because this has affinity for artifacts, so I can play the 1 mana artifact and then the familiar. Because I have the double black here. They missed the land drop, so they are gonna discard a spell now. Another kite, makes sense. Inventor. Okay. They can first strike with this guy. Well, they don't have to now, sadly. Because this cannot block. This cannot block ground guy, so I cannot double block. Guess I have to take the damage and hope to... I mean, jump blocking doesn't actually progress my game anywhere, so I'm going to get something in here. Yeah, let's do this and let's do this. This has lifelink. I don't wanna take... Well, I mean, I guess the 2-2 cannot attack. I'm taking 6 here. Taking 6 right now. Well, there's the Aether Revolt, but they are almost top decking. They have to keep it first strike now, of course. Otherwise I will just trade. Okay, they chose not to. Oh, look at this. I can also adapt this now because it will cost fewer. It will cost exactly 5, I think. Huh. They did not give this first strike. That is curious. So I'm going to gain 3 here. I go to 12. Now, if I start a race and assume they don't do any kind of silly blocks here, that means and that involves me adapting this guy. I will deal 10 to them. They will be at 7, and I will be in a very good position to win on the next turn. However, I will be in 12 life at that point, and these things will deal 8. Can they gain 4 energy? I guess they can, but it requires Okay, I'm gonna do this attack now. Because they need to get +4 damage. Oh, that's so good. Did I misread this thing? No, it's only whenever you gain energy. Yeah, I mean, they can't even gain or spend energy defensively. Did they think they can make the Sleet into a first striker when it blocks? Probably did. There are of course still many ways they can deal extra 4 if they don't block, and no, they should not block here. Blocking here would be very foolish. And I know I could have left the familiar to... Okay, that's actually fine for me. To jump block, but I want to make it so that they are threatening to be losing on the next turn because of the Glasswing Grace here. Now it's 6 damage. Okay, I don't think they can easily deal extra 6 to me. Okay, 1 card left. Not a rat. Although the rat wouldn't be so bad, the larva would trigger, and of course they would lose the Ether Revolt too. Okay, I'm gonna go to 7, but with this Glasswing Grace, they can do down jump blockings of course, but I'm gonna get a lot of life here. So I guess I could give the refurbished familiar the Glasswing Grace. I will get much fewer life, but I will still get 4 plus 3, that's total of 7 going to 14. This drops me to 8. And then they cannot trade with the familiar. If I put it on here, I will gain 7, but it's a good jump block for them, and then they can trade with the familiar. They have to block one of these. Alright, I do think this is better now. Like this. Rather than putting on the Teramander. And they are top decking, you know, they would have to draw something very good, and the Rat isn't going to be that good. Because even though they have the energy to wipe everything, this will trigger and give me 3 power of creatures. Yeah, that is... They can choose... No, wait a minute, what did they do? They're choosing to get energy, right? So they got 2 from here, they can get 3 from here, so they can deal 2 plus 3. Quite a bit of damage actually. Not enough to kill me now, is it? No. To finish off that thing, I go to 12, and I am still winning on the next turn thanks to Drossclaw. Wow. No, actually not, because they have a block available. Well, this is still a game. Yeah, Drossclaw would have been enough if the Teramander couldn't be blocked, but it can be blocked. Now I have at least jump blockers. So if I play this, I can play the Drossclaw but not equip it. So they have to jump the Teramander. Otherwise they will be losing. No, then I have to show them the... but I have a blocker, although they can actually make this guy fly, but it will cost 4 mana. Yeah, that's actually... This is not actually so easy. But I mean, they will have top decks that allow them to win. There are not that many of them, but there are some. Because I won't have a blocker for a flying Hexgold Sleuth. I can go to 10 by equipping this guy. I mean, if they Okay, I know now what to do. I'm gonna play this because I'm losing the time here, so I have to do this. I'm gonna have it this here, and I'm gonna force them to block, and I'm gonna gain 4 life with the life link. They go to 1. They go to 2 because they can block the Pteramander there, and I will have a ground blocker now with the Transmograt, of course. But if they have the 1 mana red spell that, you know, gives them 3 energy, they actually can have 4 mana to equip here, and then use that 1 mana red spell. This will trigger and deal 3 to me, and that's exactly enough. Okay, no. Okay, actually would have been even enough to, you know, it would have been enough to, you know, 2 damage would have been enough because I forgot that this equipment is gonna give +1/+1 as well. Alright, so I won both games. Aether Revolt in this matchup wasn't... It still did some stuff, but it wasn't as groundbreaking as I thought it might be. Alright, on the play, and I got now the 2 wins I was happy about having. And this is actually a nice hand. I can even cast this for 2 if these things survive. Alright, let's be aggressors with the Pteramander turn 1, Drossclaw turn 2, and then I can play the Familiar on turn 3 if both my artifacts survive, even if I don't draw the 3rd land immediately. Sure. And I did draw. So I don't expect the Drossclaw to die, so this will be a 3-drop at least. Might say the Triad. Oh, I can't attack into that. Well, I can get now the white mana with the Shattered Landscape because I happen to draw the lands. Which means that I'm just attacking with the... I don't like seeing this on turn 2, but at least I am on the play, so it's not that bad. Is that gonna be a land discarded? Yes, it is. I'm just gonna get the planes right away. Annoying, but doesn't actually... Isn't that great against my flyers. Alright. Wonder if I'm supposed to attack with the germ token because I'm potentially... Well, no, I can use it for blocking purposes. Because I can actually adapt this quite soon. Not yet. It would cost 5 right now. It will cost 4 on the next turn, assuming, you know, everything survives. But they have a very good start against something that's not air-based. Black-green, so no Eldrazi stuff. I mean, could be green Eldrazi stuff, but mostly some other business. It seems like they have a kill spell, you know, bite spell here. Bridgeworks Battle, actually not such a big deal now, because I will be returning with Pyretic Rebirth. The question is, I'm never going to... I mean, I know if I kill this, they will just get 1 back, but the Drossclaw thing is not going to attack. I mean, the germ isn't gonna be attacking, so I might as well prevent 3 damage right now. Right, let's prevent 3 damage. Ooh, that's not a bad one. but it's still better to kill the Ophiomancer with the Pyretic Rebirth than the Death Toucher, because this keeps spawning Death Touchers. That is super annoying. Alright, this back, this kills, this gets killed. And then I'm not going to play this as a land. There's no way. And this is a 1 mana spell on the next turn. Still 3 cards. Okay, that is it's something I can actually raise. Well, that's also nice. Well, I'm gonna make them discard first before showing them any other stuff I might have. And remember, if I give this thing counters, the adapt won't work. And the adapt will be fairly cheap now. 1, 2, 3. It will be a 4 mana adapt. Other artifacts. I have 3 other artifacts. So I can... They discarded actually a spell. I have 3 mana, which is a little awkward. How important it is to kill the Dryad? It's not important at all. But it is going to be the... Not exactly sure how I should do. I know I can just equip on the Pteramander and deal basically 3 because 1 life loss plus 2 would be the case there. Man, this is difficult. Okay. I don't like Hester using mana like that. But I don't think the Dryad really has any function. I can block it with the Molten Gatekeeper if they attack with it. This way. And I'm still going to, of course, the dream is to draw any land, untapped land, and then this will be a 4-power flyer. I'll take the 6 for sure. So they discarded the Vampire, they have something better in their hand. Oh, that's gonna gain them 6 life, draw them 6 cards. Oh boy. Oh, the horror. So now this Glasswing Craze is just not going to ever work. I mean, I'm not gonna play it right now. This is a good spot to do this stuff now. They still take a bunch of... I mean, this was really horrible for me, because they have a lot of mana as well. But I know they have to deal with the Pteramander. But that's gonna be the easy part when after drawing so many cards. I don't think I'm dead here, I'm at 14, even if they have like the Nyxbone Hydra. You know, bestow that. It's not enough damage. But... But if they kill the Pteramander, and they most likely will, problem is I don't have a win in 1 turn after that. Now it is possible that 6 draws is 3 lands and you know, 3 ground guys, no removal, at least no removal that works against this, although with black there are more options. Jeez, well that's only 3. I mean, is that actually gonna... I mean, I can win with this. Alright, they have 2 mana. They have 2 mana now, okay. What is the safest way to do it? I think it's to play the Accursed Marauder first. I'm not going to do the Grace thing, because I'd rather do 2 things in here. So let's do this first. This will ping the... This will work with the Gatekeeper as well. Because I'm interested in seeing if they sack the Freyalise Disciple or the Nightshade Dryad. If they sack the Dryad, I'll just win the game without any further questions. Yeah, I like this better. And this basically no reason for me to. Okay, they take mana, but that is fine. So, sack this guy. Now they have potentially a -3/-3 effect, but that's the only thing they can have, I think. So if I do put 2 counters on their familiar, well, no, that's actually going to work. The -3/-3 is going to work. In that case, I should put 2 counters here. Because I don't care if they kill the Gatekeeper in response, because then they will lose to my air attack. Because it's 8+1 life loss. Yeah, this is the best thing. So that actually, yeah, they had it, but, you know, these exacties. With the Dross Claw of all things. Well, they did draw a bunch of cards with the Disciples. 9 extra cards. But they didn't have the removal for the Terramander from the first draw 6, because they were able to untap after that turn with a lot of mana available. Alright, so how do I had a very good start. Now they did too with the Ophiomancer and the Nightshade Dryad, of course. But how am I gonna win the rest? The second game, I might lose one in between, but I feel like I might be in a little bit trouble here in this matchup. Grim Servant number 2 is somehow seems interesting, but it's probably not doable. Because I don't really want to cut any of the early stuff. No. The Eviscerator's Insight. Even this is good with the Transmogrant, with the living weapons. With this thing when you unearth this. But I'm kinda tempted at having a Death Toucher to block some of the annoying stuff. But the thing here is, they have a couple of Disciples of Freyalise. They will win the kind of games that go very late. They could have easily won here now too. So I have to be fast. And for that, I think I'm not going to... Yeah, I guess that means I might not play the Insight and choose to play like another Servant after all. Alright. That is quite clumsy though. But the Servants can get me some pretty good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna cut the Insight. Play the second Servant. This hopefully is like a 3-drop at least, so let's go with this. Alright, I have again a very decent start here with the 1-drop, 2-drop and all the mana I will need. Even the Marauder Transmogrant combination. If they have the Nightshade Dryad, it's going to be dead. And they do. So again, do they have an Ophiomancer? That would halt my attacks. This time I don't have flyers. Okay, they played this. Wow. They played this as a tapped land, so they didn't want to play a 3-drop. Alright, so they have even the white here, which is already a 3-3 preventing any attacks with this guy. Annoying. So, Vampire. I think I'm gonna play the Familiar on the next turn, so what I am supposed to do... I'm gonna play this because it makes the Familiar cheaper. Never know if it's gonna be relevant. I'm gonna fetch the planes because I have not Master here now. Do I need to show them that I have a plane? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna click through the priorities just because I have the fetch here up. So... I can actually double block them because I don't care about the gem token, even if they have a trick there. Of course, if they play a creature pre-combat, then they can make this into a 4/4. mid-combat, so then I wouldn't double block. Well, that can block my flyers as well. Now it is only a 3-4 and I have the Knot Master here at least. Okay, so what is the optimal way to do things? I actually am interested in just returning the Transmogrant. It makes this even cheaper. The sad thing is I don't actually have double black here, so that limits my options. Alright. Actually with that, I'm gonna, now that they're tapped out, I'm gonna give these some counters, because it can have at least one attack in now. As a 4-power creature, no matter how they choose to block. I still wanna have the 1-1, I will use it for jump blocking purposes, probably. Alright, they are going to... Oh, they want to ramp anyway. Okay, well that means they have the Disciple of Frailis, whatever. I'm gonna not equip, because this jump block might be what I wanna do here. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to equip this on the next turn though. Well, depends on what I draw. Well, no, I'm not gonna block because I can play the Knot Master and then jump block with the Cranial Ramp. This will be a modified creature that is gonna enhance this guy. They had the Wormcoil Larva instead. Okay, I keep drawing these mountains when I actually need a swamp instead. That does not really change anything. I'm gonna play this Knot Master. And well, they are close to top decking, but problem is I know they have it. Well, actually one of the Disciple of Frailis is in here, but they can still have the other one. And they would be drawing a lot of cards. So now they can sacrifice the Larva mid-combat, so the White of the Reliquary actually is currently a 5-5. I could double block actually. I'm gonna double block. The gem is not really that valuable. Even if they have tricks here. This will trigger, the Knot Master will trigger with from both of those, so it will be a 6-6. Of course, that's fairly insignificant because of the Wormcoil Larva. Well, they really needed to breathe your last in the previous game. So, how do I deal with this thing? Not easily. Even with the rebirth. But I guess they have no more flyers in there. I still have only one black mana left, but they have only one card, so we'll see what that is. Either they can cast it or they have to discard it. Imagine if it's a Disciple of Frailis. That would be crazy. Well, I'm very happy about this thing too. Now, they can make this... six mid-combat. Well, I'm still gonna equip here. Okay, so they are top decking. Hopefully they are not getting the Disciple of Frailis. If they attack with the Larva, that actually allows me to attack with the Knot Master, so I don't think they can quite do that. Unless they drew something that... Okay, just the land. Well, I have the Flyer here doing some stuff. I have the Pyretic Rebirth here. I have the Retrofit Transmogrant. Okay, they actually choose to do that for some reason. They gain life, but I will gain a lot more life than they are. Actually, I know what their plan is now, but it's gonna not work because of the Pyretic Rebirth. They're gonna sacrifice the Larva. They're gonna sack the Larva. And they have a 1-2 Death Toucher there. However, I will use the Pyretic Rebirth, return the Marauder, kill the 1-2 Death Toucher, and this will gain me a bunch of life. Let's make sure that mana is tapped. Alright. I still want to enhance, I mean, give this extra point of toughness so that they can trade with the reliquary, because this will become a 6/6. They could block and yeah, well, anyway, this is better. Also, I gain more life this way. They can get a land. They get their tokens. They can get a land first, and then I will use my rebirth. Take this, deal 2 to the Death Toucher. Perfect. Now I get 8 life. And I can kill this. Hopefully they didn't draw the Disciple thing for 6 draw. Okay, just a land. That's definitely unlucky for them. I have only with this one swamp, but I mean, given the circumstances, this is really good for me. I have the Grim Servant also. At some point I know I could have actually played this and just fetch a swamp, but I'm too greedy for that. I want to get an actual spell with this thing, and I can, you know, I have, you know, much more devotion than just one. So I can get almost anything. I wonder if I'm supposed to. I'm gonna let them use the 2/1 lifelinker, because this might find a better target. Well, I'm now happy I didn't use this discharge there. I mean, this is lethal attack. They just drew all the lands. Wow. So this deck, which I really was uncertain of, I mean, I guess I got lucky. This opponent just flooded out. They drew land after land, even though they thinned the deck even with the White of the Reliquary. But yeah, I actually won all 3 matches. Didn't expect that to happen. Yeah, so I mean, at least I got to showcase the Pyretic Rebirth. I picked it very early, but it is a very clean 2-for-1. Not always you are gonna have time for it, but it's still, you know, good when it works. Like many cards are, but it's no joke. And well, the Cranial Rams did some work here, but I guess I got lucky in the last match when I got, you know, I don't have a lot of 1s and 2s. Well, I have a lot of 1s, but not like a ton of 2s. I got some very good openers in the last match, for sure. Even though maybe I didn't get that good openers in all the matches, but this deck would be a lot better if I could, you know, just replace the Undernorth Masters with like another Cranial Ram, another Molten Gatekeeper, forget about the splash, and then well, I still like the Grim Servant as a one-off. I like the Larva here. Well, actually, that's pretty much it. Maybe the Eviscerator's Insight could be like the, you know, the -3/-3 removal spell, but I guess there wasn't that much wrong with the deck. If these were some on-theme cards, then I think I would have liked the deck much more, but this was fairly okay in the end, maybe. Or maybe it's just results-oriented thinking. I'm trying to find reasons why I won all the matches, but maybe this is not as bad after all as I thought. So let's claim the prize, and I think there might be one more video of Modern Horizons 3. They haven't really been popular, or actually none of the videos on my channels have been gathering many views, but I'm still gonna have one more MH3 draft happening. So and still some Outlaws drafts I think are publishing still on the channel that I have done a lot earlier, but they are publishing still once per week. Alright, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.